Hello, and welcome to Zen and the Art of Eloqua, presented by Mass Engines. My name is James, and today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about email campaign for event invitations as well as blind form submits. Now, let's use the following scenario as an example. Suppose that we want to host an appreciation dinner event for our customers here in Toronto. We want that event to be hosted on May 1st, and we want to build a campaign to send out invitations 3 weeks prior to the event. And then in the end, we want a list of people that RSVP'd and a list of people that declined. Now, what I usually like to do is build out the campaign first and then fill in the details later. That way I have a clear list of assets that I need to build, so I won't have to worry about missing anything later on. So looking in our campaign, first thing is first. Email campaigns usually start with a segment. Now, this segment is going to contain the list of contacts that we want to email, and this is how those contacts will be entering the campaign. As mentioned earlier, I'm going to go into the details on how to build a segment as well as any other assets in just a little bit. Next, we're going to add a wait step to instruct the campaign to wait until exactly 3 weeks prior to the event before we send out that first invitation email. And then we're going to add in an open email evaluator, and we're going to give it a period of 1 week. Now, what this means is that this week will only start counting down when the individual contact enters this step, and at any point during this week, if our contact opens the email, they will be dropped down the yes path. If by the end of the week the email remains unopened, then we're going to repeat the process of sending them the invitation email and do another email opened check. We'll repeat that process one more time, and if by the end of 3 weeks the email is still unopened, we're going to add that contact to the share list for people that didn't register. Now, coming back to this step, this is a form submission evaluator, and once again we're going to give it an evaluation period of 1 week. Now, similar to the open email evaluator, if our contact submits a form, whether that form be RSVP form or a decline form, during this week, that contact will be dropped down the yes path. Otherwise, we'll send them another email. But instead of an invitation email, this email is going to contain additional information regarding our event to hopefully attract our contacts to sign up. And then we're also going to do another registration check here, and if still nothing, then we'll send them a reminder email for registration. We'll do the check one more time, and if still nothing, then we're going to place them also on the share list for did not register. Now, on the other hand, if they do submit the form, then the next thing we're going to do is check if the form they submitted is a RSVP form or a decline form. Now, the way to do this is that we're going to check and see if our contact's name is on this RSVP list. If they aren't, we'll put them to this step. If they are, then we're going to wait until a couple of days before the event and send them an event reminder email. And then as a closeout to the campaign, we're going to place those contacts in this wait step as more of a placeholder. Now, looking at this campaign, we can see that we have a segment, 4 emails, 2 share lists, and a form that we're going to need to build. But to provide a better user experience, we're going to add a couple of more features in here. The first of them being when our contact RSVPs to our event, we're going to send them a thank you email. And then regardless of the option that they choose, whether it be decline or register, we're going to redirect them to a landing page that either says, thank you, we'll see you soon, or sorry, we won't get to see you at this event, maybe we'll see you at the next one. And then once they arrive on those landing pages, we're gonna wait 5 seconds, let's say, before we redirect them back to our company homepage. So what that means is that on top of the assets that I just listed, we're also going to build 2 more landing pages as well as 1 more email. So let's start with the easiest, the share list. Navigate to Audience, Tools, Share List, click on New, go to Settings, give it a proper name, and then save it. Done with the share lists. Next, let's take a look at our segment. Now, what segments do is that it's going to check and compare contact fields in our database and draw out all the contacts that match a certain criteria. So in our case, we're going to add a filter criteria, and we're going to compare the field of city and make sure the contacts that we draw out have Toronto as their city. Next, we go to building our landing pages. Now there's a couple of things about landing pages that we must pay attention to. The first of them is the microsite. Second one is the vanity URL. Now as you can see here, this is the link to our landing page. And essentially, it's composed of the microsite and the vanity URL. So we want to give it a proper name so that when our contact come to this page, we want them to see that they are not being redirected to some random page that they're not familiar with. And then once we have the microsite and the vanity URL set up, we can add in our picture, our text, and let's not forget the redirection right here. We're going to do the same for the decline. Microsite, vanity URL, picture, text, redirection. Next, let's build our emails. Now in emails, we always want to make sure we give it a proper from name and from address to make it seem like this email is sent by a real person. Next, we want to give it a clear subject. And then most importantly, every email that we build in Eloqua must belong to an email group. Now there are 3 things that you need to know about email group. First of all, they are email categorizers, sort of, and you can categorize emails by department, products or service, events, or anything else that you could think of. Secondly, all the emails in the email group will have similar settings so that all the emails in the particular email group here will share the same header, the same footer, or any other settings that you have. And then lastly, most importantly, email groups allow our contacts to subscribe and unsubscribe at an email group level so that when they unsubscribe from us, they will be only unsubscribing from a particular email group instead of all of our offers or newsletters or promotion event emails that we want to send out to them. After we set these 3 areas up, then we can start adding in our text, our pictures, and our call to action. Now notice here, I use the field merge in my email message. And what a field merge is going to do is going to draw out contact information from our database to make this message look personalized. And then keep these 2 call to action buttons in mind right now because we're going to have to come back to them later after we build our blind form submit link.